Hello and welcome to the live stream of CGTN China Global Television Network. I'm reporter Zheng Yibing. Now I'm at the Zhongshan dock at the south bank of the Yangtze River in Nanjing, the capital city of the eastern China's Jiangsu province. Well, this place is really special. Back to 80 years ago, over 10,000 Chinese people were slaughtered by the Japanese aggressors just at this site. And please take a look at this monument. And this is a structure supporting the wreath for those victims. On it, there are inscriptions like the monument for the victims who perished at the Zhongshan dock back to 1937 in the Nanjing Massacre committed by the Japanese soldiers. It was established by Nanjing municipal government in 1985. And during the past few days, we always see local people came here. They lay white flowers here. This morning, a lot of the workers had cleaned this place because soon there will be the memorial ceremony be held here. A lot of people will be participating. And just behind this monument, there is a gravestone. And let us take a look at the gravestone. What kind of the inscriptions on that gravestone? This way. Some Chinese characters are engraved on this gravestone, and it is said the Zhongshan dock is one of the sites of the Nanjing Massacre committed by the Japanese aggressors. Back then, a lot of people, mainly the youth from the international safety zones, rounded up by the Japanese aggressors, and they were killed here. And the total number was estimated over 10,000 people. That's back to December 16, 1937. And this place is actually one of the execution and mass burial sites across the whole city during the Nanjing Massacre. So this morning, a memorial ceremony will be held across the whole of Nanjing. There were altogether 17 monuments, which means the execution and mass burial sites. A lot of people, local residents, would gather around these places and pay tribute. And now this area has been sealed. And later on, about 50 minutes later, local people, including government officials and soldiers, workers and students, they would come here in order. And we can turn back. And these young soldiers trying to send a wreath to this monument for the victims. We are from the National Defense University of People's Liberation Army. A memorial ceremony will soon be held this Zhongshan dock. Back to 80 years ago, this place was really, really special for Nanjing, the then capital of China. And it used to be the transportation hub for the whole city. And also the power plant is also located at this place. So after Nanjing was breached on December 13, 1937. They tried to capture this site because this is a really, really, really key transportation hub for the whole city. And we can take a look. There are some kind of banners established around this place. And in that area, it says, "Do not forget about this tragedy." "80 years have passed. Well, this Zhongshan dock has turned from the really different place into the residential area. It is beautiful. And also, this mass burial site has become the public place, the public park, for people to memorize the past. So let's walk up the steps and get closer to the riverside. According to a historical book, back in December 16, 1937, the Japanese soldiers rounded up 5,000 Chinese people. They believe they are the young soldiers. So they rounded up these people here, bonded with rope, and killed them with machine guns. 2 days later, another 4,000 Chinese people were killed in the same way. And another 800 Chinese people, including women and children, were also killed at different sites of the Zhongshan dock in the same way. According to the recount of some survivors, well, these people were gunned down, but they were not killed. So they just trying to pretend to be dead. But the Japanese soldiers used the dagger on the gun to stab them. They didn't let out any voices, and they recall the back time. There were hundreds of thousands dead bodies flowing along the Yangtze River, and the river was red with blood. And right now, we can take a look. This is the south bank of the Yangtze River. The other side is the north part of the Yangtze River. A lot of people back then, they have to evacuate the city from the south to the north, to the safer place. But according to some historians, back in December 13, 1937, the north part of the city, north part of the bank, the Yangtze River, were also seized by the Japanese aggressors. So the cruisers, the aircraft used the bomb to kill the people, innocent people here, and also allow the Chinese soldiers. So this place, or the docks along this river became a catastrophic scene. And we can take a look at this map. This is designed by the Jiangsu Provincial Surveying, Mapping, and Geoinformation. The red part, right now we are at this site. This is the Zhongshan dock, the monument for the victims during the Nanjing Massacre. And along this river, there are several sites, the key ferries or docks. A lot of people were killed there. And this is the killing site, the mass killing site within the Nanjing, the city of Nanjing. And let's get back to the place where we are right now. This is a Zhongshan dock. And at the south part of that, there is a Xiaguan power plant. We can take a look at that direction. If we take a look at the portal cranes in the distance, we can zoom in a little bit. Well, that used to be the power plant for the whole city of Nanjing. Back to the early December 1937, the people there, the workers there, altogether 85 workers, including one engineer, they received the order not to retreat from their post, and they kept generating the electricity for the whole city for the defense of the against the Japanese aggressors. Though they worked until the last moment. On December 13, the very early morning, the power plant stopped working, and soon after that, these workers were seized by the Japanese aggressors. 45 of them were killed mercilessly. And we can take a look in that direction. In the distance, there's a bridge. That bridge is called Nanjing Yangtze River Bridge. It was built in 1960s. Well, before this bridge, all the transportation through the waterways have to through this pass. This Zhongshan dock. But in a far greater place, in the north part, in that direction, 2 kilometers away from the bridge, there is another place called Yulei Yuleiying. In Chinese, it's called Yuleiying. In English, we can translate that in a torpedo camp. It used to be the defense work by the Chinese Navy back then. And another catastrophe happened also on December 1937. According to the historical facts, over 30,000 people, including Chinese soldiers and civilians, were rounded up and taken there, and they were killed by the Japanese aggressors there. So along this river, a lot of the catastrophes happened during that winter, during the 6 weeks following the December 13th when the city was breached. And altogether, in the whole city, 300,000 Chinese were killed by the Japanese aggressors. And also 20,000 women were raped. And the Japanese soldiers looted the whole city, they burn, they kill. And they throw the dead body into the Yangtze River or in the Qinghai River of the whole city. So it's really hard to find any trace of these dead people. And so far, in one of the key memorial hall in Nanjing, only over 10,000 people's names are engraved on the Wailing Wall. But the other 290,000 Chinese people, their names and their stories cannot be rediscovered because in the past, there's something like this happened, mass killing. No one knows where they really are. Earlier, we interviewed some of the survivors of the Nanjing Massacre, and we know that by May-December, there are only 97 survivors from the Nanjing Massacre are still living in this city or in other parts of China. And some survivors retold their story. And one of the survivors said they actually fled from the south part of Nanjing where the city was breached. And they fled to the international safety zone in the center of Nanjing. But that place is not completely secure. And their whole family, his father, his brother, and his sister, they were all taken from the international safety zone and are taken to the Zhongshan dock. They were bonded with ropes, and they first kept in the cells, in a small room, in a dark room, and then they were taken here. And Japanese soldiers forced them into the bank of the river. And they killed them mercilessly. And they ordered other Chinese people to push the dead body into the river. And then they killed those people who helped pushing the dead body into the river. So that's the catastrophe happened 80 years ago. Today, we're holding the ceremony, the memorial ceremony. It's not for other reasons, just for people to remember the historical facts and do not let it happen again. So later, about 30 minutes later, the memorial ceremony will be held here soon in this place and across the whole city of Nanjing and in other parts of China and also across the globe. So this is an event for people to remember the history. And please follow us on social media, Weibo, Facebook, and Twitter, and keep an eye on the event.